right now.
Alright, so you still can't hear me? I'm talking. Oh, you know what? Alrighty, so quality has started. So we've got 10 minutes quality. Lots of spray going on. We're getting up down to the first it's gonna be interesting to see who's spinning out. Off the track, so this is about to be fun.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I just did
Oh yeah, is that where you're
yeah, because came out of the pits.
it's gonna be fun. Especially that's a little bit better. Yeah, I forgot how loud the game volume can be, especially when I think I turned off the background when I had all the like settings and everything else.
Yep. Yeah, you know,
pretty high actually. But let me know. It's better. And this is also def better. This is what's up, Moose?
Oh, Moose.
Man celebrated the wife's birthday, like, yo, let me check on the boys.
Gotta check on the boys. Yeah, so it should be fun, you know. I'm excited to see exactly how this race will go, and if we're gonna have weather effects possibly like this during the real series, it's gonna make for some exciting races, just like real life, you know. The weather can definitely smooth it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I've heard of wishes about there being more weather effects available. Per track. It seems like it's really good track to have weather effects. I think it depends on the time of the day as well, so hopefully that's something that eventually we get in more tracks, but even for now it's nice to be able to feature that, whether it's an exhibition race or it's going to be on the actual series once we get going.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, you know, it makes it more exciting and you get more experience, right? Like this is I won't say it's a 100% true sim, but it's pretty close, especially for console, and we come here for that, right? We're not playing Forza Horizon, which is a fantastic game, but we want that realism.
I thought you were about to say Midnight Club or Need for Speed, you know?
Well, bring me back to Midnight Club 3 Definition, and then we'll talk.
That's where I found my true passion for low riders. You know?
That's exactly right.
If you ain't on bags, I don't want to know you. You know what I mean?
And the Underglow.
Didn't they remake that for 360 at one point? That's like the last time we saw it.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
So we're getting some laps coming in here. Tony just beat out Specs had a 149 change, 149.7. Oh, now Steezy has a 148. Oh, great job. Who else is going to be coming across the line here soon? Crispy looks like he's coming out. Actually, Crispy's a little ways behind. Let's see. Specs going wide. So yeah, it's a good thing they have 10 minutes for quality.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, I wanted to ask, last week Tony Cow was on the controller because of his foot. Do we know how he's racing today?
I'm not sure. I meant to ask him earlier, actually. I assume he's on we haven't heard him complaining about it or making excuses today. So I assume he's on wheel, but maybe after he makes a mistake, we'll find out if he's on controller or not.
That's right, yeah. And we do welcome anyone, whether they're on a controller or full rig, basic stuff. Yeah. As long as you have good racecraft and you are just a good driver, you're not going to be using people as guardrails.
And you want to get better.
Exactly right. You want to get better. You're looking for similarly minded people to race with and have a good time. And sometimes the daily races you could have a great race, but more often than not, it's a little bit more challenging to find people that have that racecraft and respect, right? With the drivers.
Yeah, well, I believe we are currently full on the manufacturer series, so I think we even have a reserve driver or two. And I think there's a couple of slots left in the MX-5 Cup. So
yeah, that's correct. We are full up on the manufacturing series with some reserve drivers, but the MX Cup series is still available. I do think there's 2 spots left. So if anyone's interested, find my Discord in the description and on YouTube.
yeah, no, I think I wanted to get with Tony Callis to make sure that he's okay with us adding some of the social. Well, I mean, it's really just Discord at the moment. Maybe we can get a sort of a even spectators kind of thing going, as you want to chat and people have different ideas for the series. Obviously, we're going to be doing the first series coming up here in a week and a half. I'm excited to see how those go. I've heard it's hard in the past. It's difficult to get a full grid going, especially like we'll be racing on Sundays at 1 Eastern, 12 Central in the US, and then I mean we have people all over in Europe as well, and I know it's waiting for them. So it'll be interesting to see what a full grid looks like, because I don't think we've had that yet so far. And hopefully that means close driving and more consistent close driving, which I think will add a lot of fun. I know it adds some more stuff for us to commentate on as well.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, if we weren't commentating, I would very much be looking forward to driving, and I would be doing my best to get better every week, because I want to be at the top. I'm very competitive when it comes to video games, and this is a really good outlet for you to be able to do so with your racecraft. I think these series are really cool. Series or leagues, whatever you want to call it. But let's dive in real quick before qual is up. How do we think this race is going to shape up? We have the chance. It's cloudy. Chance for rain, light rain, heavier rain. So tire strategy will obviously make a big difference with the conditions.
Ooh, a 144. I'm sorry, real quick. I just want to talk about those times we saw. We saw a 145 change coming from Steezy, and the specs coming through with a 144.6.
Yeah, that's a good time.
That was a great time. Let's see who else we got. Got Salem coming across the line here in just a moment. They can't beat specs here. Can Crispy put anything together for this very last lap? Last lap. I think we had 10 minutes, right? So I really need to get a time going next time. But again, if you're not controlling the room, it's a little bit harder, of course.
There was a 10-minute quality. We had a practice session beforehand. You always have to take Tony Cal.
Sorry, I just realized. It's funny how when you're not playing the game, you're just watching gameplay, you don't really notice all the UI elements. There's a timer down the bottom left.
Oh yeah, perfect. Well, because I think if you're playing, it's next time.
Tell me you don't play Gran Turismo and you're just commentating without telling me.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, that's right. We're still learning some of these drivers. We've seen some of them race in the series before, but we do know that we have a few strong contenders here. Tony Cal being one of them, Specs being another.
Salem also being another.
That's right. And Crispy Nubbins, maybe he'll have a good race. Let's say anyone is bad. We just are going by our experience.
Crispy's tough on himself, but Tony throwing a 138.8.
Wow.
I mean, beating that 144.4 by a country mile. Yeah, it's got to be driving up a little bit. Yeah, so I was going to say that now. I think we were practicing earlier, because you'll be getting into the safety car here in just a few seconds, really. So the weather pattern is cloudy with rain, and then it starts to lighten up, and then it's just cloudy. So, it's a 15-lap race, so I don't know if it's equal, like 5 laps will be rainy, 5 laps will be light rain, and then 5 laps will be, no rain. I don't know if that's how the weather works here or not, but we'll see. We'll find out. I think now I'm not sure if drivers are required to start on the tires that they qualified on. I don't know if that's a rule or not. If not, I'm curious to see if anyone's going to start on the full wets.
Yeah, you know, full wets could be a safe bet.
Not only safe, but it looked like there was tons of spray earlier when the lobby first opened up. So
exactly right. All right, hey, I'm going to jump out real quick so I can take care of the safety car business, but I will be back in just a few.
Alrighty, see you then. Alright, and we are on our final lap for qualifying. So far, we got Salem Witch with 138.781. Fastest lap, provisional pole. They're looking mighty quick in that BRZ. Tony, let's see. Tony Callis, that's 137.0. Just as I was about to try and swap it down. Let's see who else is coming up along that back end. We got Steezy coming through for a final lap, currently at 140. So they're not going to be able to improve upon that fastest lap here. Well, maybe their fastest lap, they might. I don't think so, though. Who else do we have here? We have Salem Witch trying to put through another lap. Seeing if they can take back that pole from Tony. It's going to be close. I don't think they're going to do it in the second, I believe. And then last but not least, I think... Oh, we still have a few guys out lap. I suppose. I think we're counting like ducks before they hatch. Ducks? Chickens? Cars. We're racing cars, not ducks. Apologies. So interesting to see how this is going to fold out. And like I said, I'm curious to see if guys end up in on the full wets or not. If anyone's going to bother or just going to try to make this inconvenience work. But we did notice just how squirrely they were. And sliding all over the place at the beginning of this quality session. So it might be a benefit to be on the full wets if that's an option for them to swap or not. We'll have to see. All I'm hoping though is that our good friend Civic Gaming in the Mercedes safety car isn't sliding all around, because if the safety car or a pace car is going to be sliding around, then that's just a disaster for the rest of our drivers. And actually, I guess Steezy was on full wets, Crispy was on full wets, and everyone else was on intermediates. So that could also have something to do with their time and the different strategy. But hey, you know, playing it safe and you know, playing it safe, trying to stay on the track might be the most important thing at the beginning of this race. Try to see here if I have any information on tire wear or fuel for this race. I don't think I have that information right now. It might just be the series rules as well. I'm not entirely sure for this evening. Speaking of, while we get ready for the full race, so it looks like we have Tony Cal on pole with 137.0, followed by Demon in the Porsche, followed by Salem in the BRZ with a 138. So even, I mean, top three, we have just over a second difference. That's hopefully going to make for some close racing, at least in the beginning. But again, like I said, rain is kind of the equalizer. We're starting off with moderate rain, it looks like. So anything can happen. Maybe someone from the back's going to go bowling. And we'll see. Just at least I beat the pace car, says Crispy. I would say Crispy, not starting last. Crispy starting fifth with a 141, and Steezy at a 142.9. Those players were both on wets, and realistically, Crispy just behind Specs with the 144. So less than a second difference on the different tires. So. Tony Cal over there, just who is the one who kind of organized this league, just giving directions, make sure everyone is on the same page regarding the safety car. This is our first time running with the safety car, so it's you know, we're trying to get ready for the series starting in a week and a half or so. Crispy saying I'm hitting him too. I guess he's talking about the safety car, which is funny. He's had some bad luck at the beginning of this exhibition series, and people just taking him out on the beginning of the lap. I know it's been accidental, but or sometimes even before the race even starts. So you know, hopefully that doesn't continue. Let's put it in a race and get our race number going. We have Civ Gaming. Now he's finally leading a race. You know, this might be the first and only time he's doing that, so he's gonna take this and run with it, I'm sure. Like I said, we have Tony Cal, Cole, followed by Demon. And Porsche, we have Salem in the BRZ, the pink CRZ, Specs in the white and red BRZ. Teammates, but rivals at the same time. You know for sure Specs isn't gonna be holding anything back. He's a hungry boy. He wants wins. He wants W's. He wants podiums. But he's gonna be fighting for it for sure. We got Crispy in the Lexus, followed by Steezy in the Porsche behind him. So far, so good. Everyone's well. Crispy goes a little while. I don't know if he was forced a little while, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about again. That bad luck for Crispy. Hopefully, he's getting it done with now before the race actually starts. As we go on, it is not nice. It's quite rainy. Though I guess good for these drivers is, you know, there's no official safety car, pace car kind of laps in Gran Turismo, so this is eating up that time that they're going to be in the bad rain. So this might end up working out for them to, you know, not have to drive as much, but we'll see. We do have Tony Cal on the intermediates, Demon on the wets, Salem Witch on the full wets, Specs on the intermediates, Crispy on the full wets, and Sneezy on the full wets. So a few, you know, a couple outliers. It's really, I think it's really just Tony Cal and Specs on the intermediates. We'll see if that gives them some pace advantage, or if they're just going to end up running amok and into the grass and gravel. I think it's a good call for Specs. You know, he wants to push up into the top 3 places and try and maintain those. Tony Cal, you know, he's got to try and defend first place. So once again, it'll be fun to see how this race gets kicked off here. We have Civ Gaming pulling off into the pits. So I believe this is now going to be a grid start. Everyone's pulling up into the correct spots here. No, I apologize. Okay, we're not doing this. So we're doing which is fun. Sorry. So we're going here. Tony Cal going to the first turn, takes it. Has a little too many beans. Too many beans in that first turn, but he's holding on to first place. Our safety car is exited, so he's that Ford really has some legs there, pulling ahead with Demon. But Demon's right up behind him, tucking behind, getting some of that slipstream. Now this is a pretty slow turn. This is where the grip can get bunched up a bit. Excuse me. That caffeine's kicking in and I can't speak. My mind's moving faster than my tongue can. But so far, we don't have anyone horribly off the track. Everyone's still going. Hey, good job not sliding off, by the way.
Hey man, they were going very slow behind me. I had more pace.
Yeah, I had more pace. Oh, Demon gets ahead of Tony Cal. Well, that was a great move. I don't know if Tony had slipped a little bit there or what, but oh, we have Skeezy off at 4th from last, but he's going off a little bit here.
Yeah, a little bit of line there. That's okay. It happens. It happens.
Yeah. The field is opening up here a little bit, but hey, we're all keeping it fairly tidy so far, and the rain is only going to lighten up as the race goes on. So.
It was coming down quite hard, though. You can see on the next to the left of the tire wear there. That's the gauge of how wet it is in the game. So the higher it is, the wetter it is, the more grip you're not going to have. Or the less grip I should say.
Yep. Specs takes his spot back from Steezy. Crispy ends up down in 6th. We're getting elbows out here as we finish the first lap here. Going into P1, Steezy's going to have the inside line. And Specs looks like he's, I don't know if he's breaking a little bit too early, but Steezy goes off. Actually, Steezy may get track limits penalty here. I'm not sure yet. Ooh, and that re-entry. Demon looks like he spun off as well.
Demon spun off and gave Tony Cal the spot, and now Demon is just giving himself a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but you know what? The race is young.
Oh,
Tony Cal goes off wide. Here we go. Here we go. Now these guys are going for it. But I mean, Salem must have also. I wish we could see more here. Unfortunately, we can't. We don't have full camera control here. But Salem's got the run on Tony here in the BRZ. A little bit of contact there, but great braking by Salem.
Keeping it clean.
Tony goes on the inside, tucks up behind Salem here. Salem doing a great job in the wet.
Crispy behind, up right behind Specs, going for third place. We got some good fights there. I'm getting a little dicey there between the two of them.
We're getting a little squirrely on both of these guys, but you know what? It's all in good fun. There might, with the rain, I'm sure this everyone understands might be a little bit more conflict. Well, Specs losing a little bit in the BRZ. And, he has to forfeit that position to Crispy. And Steezy's about to get the run on Specs. Specs with the second and a half penalty. I don't know if that's for track limits or if that's for bumping each other.
Yeah, that looks a little bit high for track limits. It could be a combination though, track limits and any other player.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell with the rubber banding going on as well, but wow, everyone's getting their tails out, the tails wagging. They're like, you happy puppy dogs in the back here to be fighting at the very least.
Yeah, so it was a good quali, honestly. We saw a big difference, though, between the people that chose to switch to intermediates and those that stayed on west the entire time. And that's really where between the track drying up and the stickier tire compound, those on the intermediates really benefited from that faster qualifying time. Especially Tony Cal and Demon, so. Yeah,
we had two guys on the full wets for qualifying, and but starting the race, we had only two people on the intermediates, Tony Cal and Specs. Now, Specs is back up in third now, so these guys are in trading positions. Like I traded Pokemon cards when I was a kid. I mean,
that's right. I mean, Specs, he's got to try to build that gap in the second half of penalties. It's gonna get him behind everyone except probably Demon. Demon has they're on the intermediates now, so I guess they thought, well, I screwed up that first full lap, and might as well go ahead and get on the intermediates ahead of the crowd. So
maybe they had a bit of damage as well.
Yeah, it's very possible.
I didn't get to see. I didn't get to take notes or anything. I'm curious, are we not running any tire wear tonight?
There was some tire wear. Let me see here.
I'm not seeing any of these guys.
Yeah, maybe not for the these sort of fun races. Just getting to know each other, test some things out.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, we are running out of fuel. It looks like Salem has a big problem with fuel. Either that, or maybe just these inconvenience and wets don't wear nearly as fast as these thugs.
Yeah, that's for sure. Especially because it is somewhat. But you know what? If people are still in the wets when it starts drying up, we'll definitely start seeing some of that wear.
Yeah, absolutely. So is Demon? I'm just swap the Demon real quick. See, actually, you know what? Let's keep our eye on Crispy and Steezy here going into turn one.
Salem is in front, and so it's in front of Tony Cal. Tony is trying, might try to make a move on him as well.
I'm just going to swap. Tony Cal does declare well, looks like the trade in up front here. I have my eyes on Crispy as well. Let's take a look to see what's going on here.
Really good move there by Salem. Cut Tony off on the inside, braking, really just parking himself on that apex. This is a fantastic race right now.
Oh, Tony's got those legs on the BRC in the straight, but is he going to do a little switcheroo here on the inside? Tony Cal does, but is that enough to take Salem? Now he's doing another switcheroo to the outside. That's a double switcheroo. That's pretty rare, I think, right here.
You know what? I think some people would be pretty excited about that. Okay, we've got 11 more laps here, and Demon is in his own race in the back here. I'm just watching them go along, but at least their portion is fantastic. I just love that. Great.
He's got an eagle on there, right?
Yeah, yep, that's right.
And that's a fun car to drive as well. I do wonder how it's handling in the rain. I would have thought this GT. I can't want to say Mustang. I think Ford. I think Mustang. I think run into crowds. I guess that's.
That's that's the only thing that's the right correlation, I think.
But I would have thought this GT was a bit worse off in the rain, but Tony Kyle seems to be doing a great job. I mean, for the most part, I'd say he's held on to second place. He's fighting for first, holding on to the track. So kudos to him. Let's see again how this battle with Salem goes as we head up to the second turn here. Again,
well, I'll tell you what, Tony Cal on the intermediates while Salem's on the wet still. The track is definitely drying up a lot, so those intermediates are really going to come to life.
That's true.
It's going to help Tony Cal take that position.
Well,
if I were Salem, I'd likely hit right at Tony Cal if he takes him.
But we'll see. I think it depends. If Tony Cal can end up walking away a bit, at that point you have to question, ask yourself, Salem, hey, do I swap intermediates now, or do I try to hold off a bit and just hold the position?
Exactly.
If they can continue to put pressure on Tony Cal and make an unforced mistake, then maybe it wasn't worth getting on the intermediate right then and there if you can build a gap at all. But so far, this is going to be an interesting race. We're going to swap back here a little bit. We got Specs holding third, kind of in no man's land at the moment, but you know what? That's all right. The podium is a podium if he can maintain his place. And 2 plus seconds, almost 3 seconds behind Salem, but 6 seconds above Steezy in fourth. So Steezy as well, kind of in no man's land. 6 seconds behind Specs in third, and 3.5 seconds ahead of Crispy.
Salem must have heard me because he did pit after Tony Cal got in front of him. So I'm sure he's going to swap over to the intermediates, but we'll see here.
We'll see it. I'm curious to see if anyone's going to go for a long haul, and you were in the safety car, so it's not quite as strong. But did you feel like towards the end of qualifying at all that softs or any other racing tire?
Not at all. No, not at the beginning of the race. It was far too wet for this. But again, take a look at that moisture gauge to the left of the tire, where it's about half where it was. So things are really drying up. Tony Cal is doing just fine. Those intermediates. Oh, look at this. We've got someone coming out on softs.
Salem swaps to the softs right away. This will be fun to see. We'll swap back to them in just a moment.
I wonder if he's trying to pull an Alex Albon with the
Listen, Albon had a great race, so Salem's trying to take that and run with it, then I'm all for it. We'll see if he can get tempted to these tires, and we'll see if they can get tempted to these tires, and listen, if they make it the rest of the race with these softs, that would be tremendous. I'm curious to see what kind of lap times they'll be able to pull on those softs.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. They're going to have to be really careful right now until they get the temperature of those tires, and the track still being wet. It's not fully dry, so I'm curious to see that with the grippier tire here, and at least we can really gauge with them being behind Crispy and Evans and seeing if they catch up at all. Because Crispy is on the intermediates right now.
Right, absolutely. We are sitting in here with Salem now in the pink BRZ. His wife is probably powering them through this race, and listen, you need all the help you can in some of these conditions. Going from battling for first to last because of pit stop. This is a long pit stop. Gran Turismo pit stops are notoriously long, but this one felt a little bit extra long. 40 seconds off first place, but technically the second person to pit here. So. It does look like they're gaining quite well on Crispy here, going into the penultimate turn. Crispy going a bit wide, and Salem's
the spot.
The final turn. Okay, listen. If there's a dry line showing up here, and we're not going to have any more rain for the afternoon, then for the race, then this might have been the right call to swap these softs early on.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We're at half race distance now. Tony Cal is on that lead at 16. So we'll see. I'm curious to see what his strategy is going to be. Specs is not too far behind Tony Cal, and he's holding his own. We have a few people on their own races right now. Again, really curious to see how Crispy and Salem get on. But yeah, it's looking good so far. I do love having some weather as such a tire strategy because it really can make or break your race.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's like I said, I'm really curious to see what Salem can do with those softs. Like you said earlier, I don't think. Actually, it does look like we do have some tire wear. Finally seeing some wear on some of these tires. but not much. So maybe it's either a low multiplier or those intermediates and wets just have incredible life to them. Oh no, I was just about to say Soam seems to be doing a good job holding 5th place in front of Crispy. Goes wide and just goes into the gravel, back down to 6th on those softs. Maybe too early in some spots of the track, but then it looks very dry right there. So, you know, it's a gamble that sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. But still, being the first to hit there, you have fuel, you have a new tire. Again, going wide though right here. So
wide again though.
It'll be only time will tell if this was the wise choice or not. Let's see what we got going on up front. Tony Cal maintaining that 2.5 second lead from Specs. Now these guys are both on intermediates. Tire wear is almost negligible at this point right now. So it'll be interesting to see. Now Specs looks like they've got the car under control. A little bit iffy at the beginning, but honestly, props to the Specs for catching up and being this close to Tony Cal. I assume that fighting with Salem earlier slowed him down a bit and let Specs get caught back up. In 3rd place, we got Steezy here. Holden still in 3rd, and that's all right. We got Demon behind them, 6 seconds behind them. If they're gaining at all, I mean, they're gaining right now, but 6 seconds is still quite some time to make up. And again, they pitted already back on the intermediates. I don't know if they're going to need more fuel for the rest of the race. We're about halfway over here, and I don't know if you hold on to the intermediates for the rest of the race then.
Yeah, again, that moisture gauge hasn't moved much, so I would stick with the intermediates and see if they working really well for Tony Cal and Specs. Specs still have the fastest lap of the race so far.
So, you know what? If they're working, there's no need to change it, in my opinion.
Right. No, I'm with you. No, we do see Specs, coming closer and closer to Tony Cal. And we have Steezy in the pits. I'll be curious to see what tires they're going to now.
Yeah, they're coming off the wets, I guess they felt finally it's time to get on to maybe a little more pace.
Yeah, well, again, it could be a fuel thing as well. I mean, they've got a 30 fuel. You don't want to pit too soon and, run out of fuel for the last lap. But, and they are on softs as well. A few laps after Salem, so they've noticed maybe they saw Salem swap to the softs and said, you know what, I think it's time for me to get some pace back in the game.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We still have the fastest lap being on 136.1 on the intermediates. Although I would reckon say Specs is getting some bit of a toe from Tony Cal.
Getting a little squirrely there. Oh, Def.
Speaking of getting squirrely.
Speaking of, we're doing like 720 like Tony Hawk over here with those brand new softs.
Too.
That's unfortunate. Those I don't know if we just got on them way too hard though, right off the bat, but fresh tires, no temperature in a damp track.
Crispy also just had a moment, and they're on the intermediate, so I wonder if they just took too much speed into that hairpin.
Possibility, yeah. Also, Crispy's got damage on the front end as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're pitting this lap. In front of them, Salem's going to benefit from both DC pitting and sliding out, and Crispy sliding out as well. He takes 4th. 28 seconds behind Demon, though, and again, we're not sure if Demon's going to be pitting again. They have fuel. They're on intermediates that they might just run these for the rest of the race.
Tony Cal is just pitted for softs.
Speaking of the devil, Demon's in the pit. I think we're going to start seeing everybody swap the softs as this race continues. So
yeah, I agree. We've got 6 laps left, and really just want to get as much pace as you can now. We see the sun is coming out a little bit. Obviously, a dry line is formed. We're not seeing much spin at all coming from the cars. So
no, and that does leave Specs in first place. However, on the intermediates, unfortunately, they have second penalties. So
Tony Cal has had a moment coming out of the pits.
Another one.
It's another one.
It's really wet over there, and I suppose maybe it's a wet line. And, you get on the gas pretty hard right away, and he's got a 3-second penalty now. I suppose that's for crossing the pit lane.
Yeah, I think that's what.
That's pretty brutal on his outlap with those softs. But
now,
see what he can do.
If you're Specs, you have 5 racing laps left. You're on the intermediates, and it's dry out. Fairly mostly dry. Do you hold your position? You're 45 seconds ahead. Do you bother pitting? I mean, he's going to need fuel, so and he comes.
And he comes. If I were him, I would just make the swap to the softs.
I agree.
That's the move.
I agree. The rest of the field on the softs, and yeah, that is unfortunate. Crispy has yet to pit. Crispy holding out for a hero, and he wants to close his tires his hero, but man, that's gotta be rough driving that car with all that front end damage. Those intermediates are wearing now as the track's been drying up, so maybe they'll pit this lap and go for some softs. But you know, I'm sure they don't want to
put on the softs as well.
Specs on the softs. Let's see where we end up.
Steezy is not having a good time.
Steezy slide do we have a nickname for Steezy now? Slide and Steezy?
Slide and Steezy, yeah, they are just all over the place, taking it very slow now.
And Specs gets out ahead of Tony. Let's see where this gap ends up. Let's go on board with Tony real quick as we see Specs a speck in the distance for Tony Cal, about 8 seconds, 7.5 seconds or so.
Let's see how this holds out for him. Specs can have some consistency, so he'd be, I think, thrilled to keep this lead.
If Specs can keep this lead, that'd be fantastic. I mean, listen, made some mistakes in the beginning, but again, you keep that consistency going on. We said it last week, and I'll probably continue to point it out. You know, we were slow in the beginning. It was heavy rain. We were trading places and bumping together with Steezy and Crispy in the back. But then all of a sudden, lap 5, 139.7, lap 6, 139, lap 7, 136s. And as I'm praising him, he goes right off the track. Come on, Specs. I don't know. Is that caster curse or is that just Specs being Specs?
That I think it's a little bit of both there. You can't give him too much attention. Tony Cal, though, not far behind, and I believe I just saw him put in a purple sector. So
yes,
this really could be either one of their races right now.
Well, Specs just opened up the door for Tony Cal to come on board, barge in like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah! As he comes on to the final corner of this lap.
Oh, Tony Cal's right there.
Oh, this is close.
This is a long straight.
We're gonna keep our eyes on this race right quick between these two. Tony Cal puts the fastest lap, 1:33.1. We'll see those times dropping off for the rest of the race, I'm sure. He brakes hard going into T1, takes the little bit of curb. He is right up on Specs as Specs is a bit squirrely out of that corner, maybe getting on the gas just too soon. Now we know this 4GT had the legs. That BRZ that's surprisingly keeping pace at the moment. Specs must have gotten a better exit than it looks like on our right, best purple P sector 1 for Tony Cal. We go into the second turn. He is right. He is
right there. Specs gives up the spot.
Out. Tony Cal pulls out to P1. Wow. Specs couldn't handle that pressure.
The pressure. You know what? I'm not the first one to say it. There's something about seeing Tony Cal right up behind you that just spooks you out a little bit. I'm not sure what it is.
I think even the bravest man would shiver sometimes when he sees that driver right behind him.
Yeah, especially in a Ford GT, you know.
You know what though? 3 seconds behind. We got a few more laps to go, and I think Specs is going to be hoping for an accident by Tony Cal. Tony's got clear air in front of him though. All he's got to do is stay on the track and he'll be taking home the W. Specs still 18 seconds in front of third place of Crispy Nubbins. So if he can maintain that second place, he'll be happy as well. And Crispy, I know would be happy with to finish up on the podium. But you got Salem hunting you down. Salem does have a bit of damage on the back. I'm not sure quite what happened there. If that was a bump from anyone else or maybe. But
I think they went off. I think I saw them go off earlier.
Okay. But man, Crispy holding down hope for these intermediates and the damage. I see what he's doing there. I can understand what he's holding out for. But man, when you got Salem with the pace that they have, I mean, look at this gap closing down here with second and a half to 2 seconds. This is a dangerous game for Crispy playing. He's on the inside. He swaps back over. We're gonna swap to this view real quick. Oh, it's Salem.
Salem.
What happened there? Was that a wheel on the curb or I don't know what happened?
I don't know, because usually at that turn you do. Oh, Demon having to slow down, way down, because Salem there. Usually at the turn though, you do take a bit of curve there to widen the corner for yourself before you turn in. And if you ride it just right, you can get hug the apex and get over the curb, and so it doesn't upset your car too much. Coming up on the hairpin here, this is crucial turn to make sure that you carry as much speed coming into it and get a good exit. Still, you know, Salem is here right behind Demon with the toe. I will say this next turn, for me, is the most difficult of the track. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It feels a little bit awkward with your braking point and...
yeah, I think it's a few different lines you can take. Obviously, the one that Demon just took is not the optimal one, as Salem will take that gift and continue.
Tony Cal is off. Oh, Specs just goes by.
Oh, is Tony stuck in the pits right now? Oh my lord. Tony Cal is losing this as Specs just speeds on by. Tony Cal spinning around like he's playing a game of top, I guess. I don't know. But oh man, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And that is how you can ruin a race for Tony Cal, but how you can also potentially win a race for Specs. These guys are just handing each other gift after gift. Like, hey, you screwed up. Here's my place. Oh no, you screwed up. Here's your place back. It's really quite commendable of these guys to be so nice to their fellow racers.
Yeah, they're quite giving, but you know, it's all it is those soft tires, and they find a patch of a wet spot, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's all it takes. It could be a wet spot on the track. It could be the paint on the edge that's pretty slippery.
I think that's exactly what happened with Salem earlier at T1 the lap before, and I think maybe between having the tire on the painted curb and then probably maybe too aggressive on the gas, and then boom. So that's I mean, listen,
it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to make a mistake like that.
Yeah, and then Crispy's had to have cheered when he saw that happen because listen, again, pulling this damaged car the entire way through. Now, I'm curious if they had to change tires for this wet racing because at this point he has yet to pit, I believe, right? So
he has yet to pit. You know what? I don't recall the settings that Tony Cal had set up in the lobby, but he's going to get a hefty penalty if he had to, and he's not going to like that. That's for sure.
No, I mean, commendable performance for sure by holding on, but here we go. Salem once again pulling up on Crispy.
Yeah,
could be because of damage or the tire advantage.
Those tires are shot. He's got a little left. He's also so low on fuel.
Both drivers are low on fuel.
Crispy's gonna have to pit.
No, Crispy stays out. Oh no! Was that a bit of contact? That might have been. Can you write that down real quick for lap 15, end of lap 15 with Salem and Crispy there?
Absolutely.
I don't know if that was contact or if that was just a soft tire trying to hold too much speed. But unfortunately, that's probably going to be the race for Salem there. I mean, we got Steezy pulling up 6th. I don't know what happened to this race here for Steezy, but it doesn't look like they're having a good time. They got damage, got tires, softs.
Quite a few moments of just hitting the wall, I'll be honest. I was watching him.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it happens to the best of us, happens to the worst of us. I guess now all we're fighting for is fastest lap, as the grid has really widened. Oh no, Crispy!
Yep, Crispy just has no grip coming out of that apex.
Oh,
on the gas too soon. Those tires are shot. He's got almost no gas.
So Crispy hands third place to Demon. Is what you're telling me?
He's not revving the hell out of his engine, so he's definitely trying to conserve fuel to get through the end of the race.
Oh, I mean that's the best way to do it. You know, you got a short shift, off the coast, everything you do. That Lex is good on fuel, but obviously if you haven't pit the entire race, you're trying to make it through. This is what happens. So once again, it looks like as we were talking about that, Specs takes first place. We have Tony Cal, who's going to be taking second place here in just a moment as he crosses the line, and then Demon. Man, talk about a race here. I mean, Demon, I think, started 4th. Ended up in last. Pitted on the very, I think, first or second laps.
Oh, Crispy gets past Salem right before the penalty line. Salem had a bad turn. Crispy, is he going to take P4 with these tires? With his lack of fuel? I see absolutely no fuel left in his car.
Oh, there's a very slim. You know when it's like, I know my car. Crispy knows his car. He knows that he can finish his lap. He takes P4 home. Now we have Salem finishing up P5. Almost no fuel. Do they have any fuel at all? I don't think so. I think they might just be coasting. Oh my gosh! They are just at like 30 miles an hour trying to bring this car home.
That is
And there you go. Into the wall. to finish the race that Salem will probably want to forget about. And Steezy coming up to the checkered flag and bash into Salem. That might have been an unsafety, unsafe rejoin.
Definitely sounds like it was an unsafe rejoin, but there we go. There's the race. Let's take a look at these results once they pop up.
Let's see here. We got
The weather really makes a good difference, I gotta say.
It does. I mean, kudos to Specs for taking first and fastest lap there by Specs. You know, Tony Cal was had pole and held on to second place, even with going wide quite a few times. And Demon coming up with third final place on the podium. Good job to all our drivers here. You know, running in the rain is not the easiest thing in the world, and then Salem making that early call to the softs, man. I thought, I was hoping that it was going to work out better, and you know, just getting that slick on the wrong patch of puddle or patch of water, I suppose, can just spell disaster, and that's what happened to Fetons, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a little too early for the softs, to be completely honest. It was still too wet out there, and honestly, it dried up to about a quarter of the of how moist it was out. Moist, that's someone's favorite word, right? How wet it was out there.
Did you say moist?
Moist. And the wets were the softs rather were definitely the right choice eventually. I think if you started with the intermediates and you could make it work. I mean, Tony Cal started on the intermediates even though it was pouring rain, but he knew that it would let up, and therefore he was able to make up the time. Unfortunately, he had that mishap which ruined his first place, but you know what? It was definitely a worthwhile venture in my opinion.
I agree. And so now we're just gonna get these rooms set up for MX5 Cup over at Dragon Tail Gardens.
The Death Chicane.
With Death Chicane and all. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll join these guys just shy before practice ends and before we get into quali. We'll be right back.